Hi friends, welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for being here. I am back home. This is my first video that I'm filming since being in California, and also the first video that I'm filming where my baby has turned into a toddler. I don't know how we got here. I have a 1-year-old now and he's very different. He's not just a baby that I can set down and I know he's gonna be in the same exact spot that I left him. He is fully mobile. He's getting into everything. He's playing, he's making noise. So yeah, we're in like a new chapter of doing this plus being a mom full-time, so please bear with me. I'm hoping that not a lot of the background noise is being captured in the audio. But anyway, I said that I was not going to be doing anthurium content for a while, but that's what needs to be done right now. Like, all of my other plants are pretty okay. It's just my anthurium that are just, there's always something to do. And the main issue is that I just have too many of them, including my own hybrids, which is what this video is all about. So if you guys have been following this channel, you've been following since I basically hybridized this plant. I hybridized two of my favorite plants, two of my favorite anthurium in my collection, my Carla Bevep and my Forgetii Carla Blackier. Wait, Carla Bevep, Forgetii Carla Blackier. These are two of my favorite anthurium in my collection. I got both of them from my sweet friends Amanda and Alice. And yeah, this is a cross that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I know that this isn't really what is trending right now, even though Carlas are really sought after. It's mostly like just Carlas that people are looking for, not really too many of the hybrids. But I think that the batch has turned out really cute, and I am finally at a point where I'm ready to let some of them go. I have a lot, and I'm not going to be selling all of them. I'm pretty much weeding out the ones that I feel are not showing, I'm not going to use the word exceptional, but are not showing features that I feel are like dominant of the parents. If they kind of just look like an obscure hybrid, I am likely just going to be tossing them, and that's just a personal choice. I know people probably will have thoughts about that, but I personally only want to release the ones that look a lot like the parents. So yeah, as you're watching this, there should be some available still on Jing's website. So I released 11 of them. Only 2 have sold actually. I think they're priced a bit high. I was looking last night at like different Carla hybrids that have sold recently, and yeah, I think I priced them too high initially. So the 2 that have sold, I'm going to be offering a price adjustment to her, and then I'm going to be lowering the prices on all of them just because, I don't know, I feel like they were priced a bit high. I'm not sure if that's why not many of them have sold, but I want to get these out there and I want people to have them. So hopefully the lowered price kind of helps people out a bit. I am going to be showing you first the ones that I have decided to sell for the first release, and I can't remember off the top of my head which ones have sold, but I'm just going to show you the ones that I've picked out. So let me just move everything and get nice and close. Some of these were some of the strongest seedlings. I have not chosen any like weak seeds. I've already thrown out all of the runts. And yeah, I'm only kind of letting go the ones that I feel are going to be vigorous growers. So they all have like their own special little unique look, but I think for the most part, the ones that I'm seeing that are like standout seedlings are the ones with that really pronounced sinus and central vein. So here is one of them, and you'll see that all of them that I'm going to show you just have a really bright sinus, and I don't know what the word is, try something, but yeah, it's got these really prominent veins right in the center here. So there is number 1, here's number 2. All of these pretty much look almost the same. There are only like a few, which I will show you, that are holdbacks that I feel are like super duper extra special. But I think these ones are really fun, and I think they're gonna turn into great little plants. So yeah, this one's, they're all priced based on size. They've been selected for their traits, obviously, which I have explained to you like what I was looking for in releasing some of them. But yeah, I've priced them based on size because some of them are smaller, some are bigger. But they've got this nice bronzy emergent color. And if you do end up buying these, I will say that they do not like a lot of light. I'm gonna show you the 2 bins that I had underneath here that were just being blasted, not even by a lot of light. The bar is only 10 watts, but they all got super, super bleached. Here's one of the bigger ones. I'm just obsessed with this like really bright sinus. It looks just like the Forgetii Carla, even though that was the dad. These are 2 of the biggest ones that I'm selling. This one has like a pretty like narrow leaf. I think this is the one that was sold. I kind of thought if any of them were gonna sell, it was gonna be that one. And then this one is really cute too. This is an example of one of them that got bleached. Very healthy. I still think it's gonna be a nice plant, which is why I released it. And it is at a more discounted price, but like if you do grow it under high light, this is what you're gonna get. So those are the ones that are for sale. I'm gonna link it in the description. Yeah, I'm sure that by the time this video goes up, there will still be plenty left. They're not moving super fast, which honestly, I'm not mad about. I kind of thought like, if I do end up with a ton of them, it would be a great plant to use as like experimental plants if I'm gonna be experimenting with new substrates. I've been kind of twiddling with the idea of trying out some different fertilizers. But yeah, that is the ones that are for sale. So the website is gonna be linked, and she does ship to the US and Canada. Okay, I'm gonna show you really quickly some of the bleached ones, like a whole bin of the bleached ones. Again, I think a lot of these plants are still really cute, which is why I'm not tossing them. I'd love to see what they look like once they are allowed to darken, but the entire bin was just like completely yellow. So do not grow these under high light. They really don't need a ton. Some of the really bleached ones are giving off this super pink emergent leaf color, which I think is really fun, but again, not really, I don't think that that's natural for this plant because yeah, a lot of the other ones that were grown in much lower light are super dark. And let me just show you the bin of my keepers. I eventually will sell clones of all of these if there's any interest. I just want to grow it out big enough so that I can take basically a butt cut of it. So here is holdback number 1. This one is so cute. It is really sharp and super narrow, nice bright veins, and the darkened color is pretty much exactly the color of, I would say, the Forgetii Carla. I feel like the Carla Bivep, even though it's the mom, didn't come through a lot in this hybrid, but it's totally fine because I am into it. This is another one, super, super bright, central venation, lots of bleeding in the sinus, which I love a lot. And I kept this one initially because when I saw this, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just gonna have like a bright central vein, but it looks like it's coming through now. But yeah, that one's super fun. This one is probably one of my favorites because I don't know, I just feel, this is, when I hybridize this plant, this is kind of what I was hoping for. This is what I was looking for in a plant. And it's just exciting to me that it's looking pretty much exactly what I had hoped for. And I don't know what the desirability in the market is right now in terms of plants that look like this. I don't know if this is super common, like everyone's kind of over it, but I'm not. And I will find the people that share the same likeness. This one's really fun. It has like a little bit thinner of venation here, but really bright sinus as well. has a little bit of like what looks like flat mite damage. So a lot of these bigger ones are ones that were grown out in ambient. The ones that I was selling they've always been grown in bins, and so yeah, these ones I'm not even thinking about letting go until I know there's no kind of pest issue. Really simple, again, thin venation. I wanted to try and keep one that had like really bright bleedy venation, and then one that was like a little bit crisper and tighter. So these two are interesting. I find that this one right here seems to be more narrow than any of the other ones. I'm not like, I don't love the physical characteristics of it. I much prefer something like this in terms of the way the venation looks, but I'm keeping this one solely for just to see if the narrowness what kind of continues. This one's quite narrow too, but yeah, actually I think they're about the same narrowness. This is the only one, again, some of them are so small still because they're like in tiny little cups like this. Like I haven't even given them a chance to kind of size up. So I'm gonna be getting those into bigger pots. I'm not classifying those as runts just yet because again, they're in much smaller pots than the rest of them. But this is the only one that I've seen so far that has no venation. And I'm just curious to see what this one looks like because yeah, it's just strange to have an entire batch of plants that have like really bright veins and then one that's just like, no, didn't get that gene. I find it really interesting. So I'm curious to see if any veins will pop up in maturity. In this new leaf, I can kind of see what looks like the start of some silver veins, but still not as prominent as the rest. So these ones, these holdbacks, I'm gonna be getting into larger pots because I wanna see them size up faster. And then the rest of these, I'm just gonna get into like a bigger, like into these little 3-inch pots, just to give them a fighting chance at showing me what their characteristics will look like before I do another round of purging. And while we're doing this, I do have something to talk about slash kind of an announcement, but not really, not really, just because I actually don't really know what's going on right now. I'm just in a very is the word transitory? Like I'm in a transition phase of my life where I'm kind of like reevaluating things and just like kind of figuring out what my future looks like. And yeah, I just think that it's time now to kind of take action, and it's like now or never. So I'm gonna first start with these little tiny baby ones. I'm just gonna get them all out of here. I'm gonna reuse all of this soil and just mix it into the batch that I mixed. I don't have a ton of soil right now. The only soil that I have is currently baking in my oven because it was just infested with fungus gnats when I got home. So the mix that I'm gonna be using is not ideal. It's honestly just like a mixture of anything that I have. Pumice, perlite, like super fine perlite, fir bark, tree fern, and that's pretty much it. I don't have a ton to work with right now, but that's okay because these ones will eventually be sold. I'm not really sure yet, like the permanent substrate for all of these. I do want to reserve a lot of that for my my bigger ones here. So I might put these smaller ones. I have like this moss mix, but I kind of don't really like the idea that they're all going to be growing in different substrates. So anyway, we'll see. I might see how much I get from the scraps, and then I'll just mix in a bunch of new things to it. I was not prepared today. I just kind of turned my camera on and started going. Okay, so let's just get this out there. I kind of mentioned this, I think I mentioned it in a different video. Over the last few months, I've been just like reevaluating what I want to do with my life in general. And it's kind of scary to be in this place because I'm turning 36 this year. And pretty much all of my peers, all my friends, they're in like they're in their jobs that they're doing. They all have houses and families, like they're all kind of settled. And I've always told myself that like I chose a path that I knew I wasn't gonna be there as fast as everyone else. I've always kind of been in like a creative space where I was like self-employed, and you know, it's hard to like meet the goals that you have financially, and then also just like in your timeline of things that you want to accomplish in life. It's hard to, oh, I didn't take my medicine today. It's hard to kind of meet those goals when you're trying to start a business or you're trying to get something off the ground, you know. And then I found YouTube, and this is not something that I ever had in the cards. I was always behind the camera. Like you know, before any of this, before I even moved to Canada, I was in the fashion industry, and I liked it for a little bit until I really hated it. But you know, I was always working in a creative space, whether it be fashion designing, styling, set design, store design, visual merchandising, all of that stuff behind the camera, and not really at the forefront. Like I was just one of like the cogs to get to the final result. And I enjoyed that because I liked that I could kind of flex that creative muscle, but then I could go home and just be a person and not be like constantly worried about how I'm perceived, what I still have to accomplish. I don't know, it was just this like comfort. But then I eventually reached a point where I'm like, is this enough? Like, is this what I really want? So when I discovered YouTube, I never thought that I would still be here, put it that way. Not because I thought like, oh, I'm gonna fail at it. Typically, if I wanna do something, I make sure that I do it. And I really have a hard time accepting failure or accepting rejection. And so when I went into YouTube though, I didn't think like, oh, I'm gonna get into this, I'm gonna be one of the biggest plant YouTubers, I'm gonna be so successful, this is what's gonna like, you know, retire me. I never, ever in my wildest dreams had that picture for myself or had that goal for myself. I initially started YouTube just as an extension of my Instagram. I really liked being on Instagram because it felt more private. It felt a little bit more personal than somewhere like TikTok now, you know. On TikTok, I feel so exposed. I don't know why on Instagram it feels like a lot more of a safe space for me. And yeah, I just wanted somewhere that I could share my plants more, share the stuff that I was learning. And I did Instagram stories for a while, but it just felt like maybe long form content was something that could kind of push the Instagram a little bit more. And so I did like a plant tour, and I really thought that was gonna be it. Like I was gonna publish the plant tour, and I would just link that in my bio and just kind of, yeah, I don't know. I really didn't even think that I would be like monetized, really. It was just a way to advertise my Instagram more, because that was really my main focus, was Instagram. I was like just trying to grow that platform at the time. It was scary because it was my first time in front of the camera, and if you've been here since the beginning, you'll know that I was so terrified of being in front of a camera that I didn't show my face. And I knew, like, I had a long talk with my husband about it, and I'm like, how weird would it be to just start a YouTube channel but not show my face, like it just be about the plants? And for a while it worked. I think a good amount of people kind of vibed with that what am I thinking of? That format, because it really was about the plants. You weren't distracted by a face. You weren't distracted really by like my personality. I didn't let a lot of my personality show. I really just wanted it to be about the plants. But I just found that it was hard to, for one, show plants. Like as they were getting bigger, it was like I was always down here, or I was going like this. And then two, you know, I was getting more comments about how they found the content useful, but they were having a hard time connecting with me, and it made it hard for them to want to like keep clicking a new video. And when I realized that I was kind of hitting those milestones of being able to monetize a lot quicker than I thought, just with that first plant tour video, I was like, well, you know, like a second income stream would not be bad, because at the time I had my business, which I still have. I'm just not very active on it, which is something I want to get back into, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, I was like, I could use more money. My business wasn't enough. I was like barely just like getting by. I was, you know, my husband was supporting us for the most part. And so, yeah, I talked to him and I said, maybe I do try and do this for real. I don't know what's gonna come of it, but I'll never know if I don't try. This is all the soil that I have. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna steal from this too, and then I'll mix some more stuff into it. Anyway, so yeah, I started the YouTube, and again, it was just supposed to be a side thing. And then eventually it just slowly became my main thing as I saw more money coming in. And I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. I really enjoy making content. I know that like I always have something to say about being on socials and stuff, but I'm so grateful for this platform. I'm grateful for the few people that tune in every week to watch whatever the hell I'm doing, and I enjoy my interactions here. I've had really cool opportunities with this platform, but I never, again, going back to the beginning, I never saw this as a full-time career. And even sort of at the peak of it, when growth was really fast, I was getting approached a lot by different brands and stuff. I was still never really confident that like this is what I wanted to do forever. I just don't see myself being like, not that this is old, but like being a 50-year-old woman, like sitting in front of a camera doing plant stuff. You know, I just don't see that. It's not what I want. I don't want to be doing this forever. Let's put it that way. And if I do YouTube until I am much older, it would just be for fun, and it would just be to help people, and yeah, maybe make a little bit of shopping money on the side. But I don't want this paying for my bills anymore. Now that I am a mom and I am in my mid-30s, and I'm starting to think about retirement and like what the plan is and wanting to buy a house, like I think that I need a career change. I need to pivot. For one, I want to get back to my business. I really enjoyed what I did. If you guys didn't know, I own a business called Free Pancakes, a children's brand. I make supplementary homeschool activities for homeschool curriculum. So it's not actual homeschool curriculum, but they are just supplemental things that you can add to your curriculum that is made for basically babies to, I would say, like 1st to 2nd grade. And I really enjoyed what I did. I got to be super creative. I got to help a lot of families. I got to witness, you know, kids like learning new things because of the stuff I was creating. I got to, I don't know, I felt like that job or that business was super rewarding, and it felt like I was doing something productive, and I really like that feeling. Oh, okay, just crack that. And I do think it's a great business, but I knew that I needed help. And so I've been talking to my sister, and she has a master in comms, and yeah, she wants to be a part of the business and she wants to help. So that's something that we want to kind of rebrand, relaunch, and get back into the world. I want to be doing that again, at least part-time. Another thing that I have wanted to do for a really long time is publish a children's book, self-publish. I don't think that anyone's gonna actually pick me up, but I wanna write and illustrate a children's book. I already have the bones for it. I've had it for a while and it's just been sitting there. And ever since Archie came into the picture, I've been like really inspired to actually pick that project up and do something with it. And so there's that. And then I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna be pivoting to, mostly because it's such a new idea right now. It's still something that would have me be self-employed. I would take my own clients. It's still having to do with social media, just not for myself. It is not something that can be replaced with AI, because before I was doing a lot of graphic design work, branding work, and now ChatGPT and all these AI apps can do all of that for you. You have Canva, and no offense to anyone who does this for a living, I'm sure you've thought about it, but being in that career is not very sustainable, right? Not sustainable. It's not very, it's not stable. I mean, it's never been stable, but especially now, I can't imagine how hard it is to be a graphic designer in a world where you can just type in what you want and it'll spit it out in a couple seconds. I'm gonna just quickly add a few things to here to zhuzh it up. I've added some fine perlite, pumice, and a little bit of fir bark. I don't like adding a ton of fir bark when I'm repotting plants this little, because I just find it's a little bit too big for the root system. But yeah, I just wanted to lighten it up a little bit. It was pretty dense. But I think this is gonna be good. It'll be dense enough to retain the moisture, but airy enough that it won't waterlog it, or it won't like compact the roots too much. Sorry if that was super loud. Okay, so what I was saying, I would still be doing like social media. It's still having to do with like filming and things like that. But, you know, I already have, for the most part, the contacts that I need to get the business off the ground. And they're really great contacts. I'm gonna have to work for free for a little bit to build my portfolio. Another sort of pivot is that, not pivot, but I guess lifestyle change is that it's not something that I can just do from home. I'm gonna have to leave and like meet with the clients and actually go out, which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world. I feel like in general, I probably need more socialization. I should get out of the house more. But an issue is I don't have childcare, nor am I really ready to put him into daycare. So that's something that I need to talk to my husband about, because it is like a major issue that would prevent me from like really like going 100% with it. But yeah, it's gonna take a while to actually start doing that full time, because again, it's, you know, getting the portfolio done, and it's not something that's gonna just happen overnight, which I'm used to. I've done so many sort of like entrepreneurial things that I understand that there's like a buffer period between the time that you start the business to when you're actually in the green and making a profit. So luckily, I do think that once the portfolio is built, and hopefully these contacts can really help me find clients, that once it gets going, in my mind, it's something that should be pretty easy to maintain on a monthly basis in terms of finding clients, because one, I think that it's a service that would be pretty sought after. It's definitely a service that I wish I had at the time in my life where I could have used it. And yeah, I know this is very vague right now. I just don't want, I'm just like, you know, still, again, building the bones. I haven't even reached out to the people who I'm hoping is gonna help me get this thing off the ground. And so there's just a lot of things that I need to put in my mind together, like what I'm actually gonna be doing, because I don't even think I really 100% know yet. I had this epiphany while I was in California. And so it's a very brand new idea. But the point of me telling you this is that, you know, I am going through a pretty massive career shift in my mid-30s, and it's been very, very scary. And especially now having a kid who depends on me both physically and financially, it's yeah, it's pretty terrifying. But I've always been pretty optimistic when it came to kind of starting a new thing, and I think I would be really good at it. And I think that I have a lot to offer in terms of like the skills that I've built with just being on YouTube and like doing social media. So I really hope that this translates into this new thing. And yeah, I still want to do YouTube again. I just want it to be something that I do on the side. I don't want to be obsessed about numbers. I don't want to be obsessed about how much money I've made that month. I don't want to worry about trying to lock in sponsors. Like, I just want it to be for fun. I really just want it to be for fun. I want to maybe post like 2 to 3 videos a month. I don't know. I just want it to be easy, and I want it to not, I don't want so much pressure when it comes to YouTube. So that is my goal with that. In terms of like plant sales and hybridizing, I'm not gonna be hybridizing everything anymore. I really only want to do crosses like this where it's like very intentional and like I feel like it's gonna be good. I don't really want to sell any small plants. Like, I don't want to sell plants this size. I want to sell plants that I've grown out and are like this size, like where you can actually see some traits and some characteristics. So yeah, I want to be taking down the amount of things that I'm hybridizing. I want to be very selective in what I'm actually selling. And again, just kind of do that for side money, which is what I'm doing now. I don't rely on plant sales at all to like pay my bills and kind of get by. It's really just, you know, whatever I can make is cool. I want to downsize a lot. I want to get rid of a lot of plants, and I don't know. I even thought like, I wish that I only had enough plants in this plant room just to fill up these shelves. And I want to create like a real potting station in here. Like, I want to have somewhere where I can sit down, I can watch TV, I can make a mess in this bench area. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't want as many plants as well. So that's where I'm at. This conversation will flow into next week's video. Wait, when is this going up? No, not next week's. Yeah, next week actually, if I can get it up. Next week or the week after. I'm gonna be talking all things sort of on this topic with being a plant content creator, my experience in doing all of this over the years. Some people asked some really honest and good questions, which I am going to answer honestly. And yeah, I just think that that would be a good conversation to have. That is my timer to take my soil out of the oven. And it is also lunchtime and I need to feed my child. So I'm just gonna quickly get the rest of these potted up. Yeah, next week or the week after, I'm gonna just be answering all things content creating and more stuff along the lines of this. I was gonna actually do it in this video, but that one is gonna be probably a lot longer, and I didn't want this video to be super long. The point of this video was to just kind of tell you that the seedlings are for sale. I know that there are a few people who have been waiting to get one, and the orders are gonna close on Tuesday. And if you're watching this in real time, then yeah, it's this coming Tuesday that they're gonna close because we have to do phyto and all that. So if you've been wanting one, please go snag one. And if you do, I would love to see the progress of how it's growing. If I could, I would hoard them and I would keep them all and grow them out to flowering size just to see what they look like. But I don't have the time, the energy, the space, mental capacity, honestly. Hopefully these guys size up pretty quick because I really want to start weeding them out. There's just too many, you know? And again, I know people are gonna have thoughts about me getting rid of the plants that I feel like are not like worthy to be out in the market. And I I've heard the argument that like there's always going to be someone who is looking for traits that maybe you don't find desirable, or people who are, you know, they don't have the money to buy the seedling at the market price that they're at. But I think another thing to keep in mind is that like it takes time and energy to like just do one plant sale. And for me, like selling a plant that I find is not very special, honestly, for like $10, or even if it's free, like I don't have time to do that kind of like giveaway work. Like if I were well off and I had help and it wasn't like super expensive to ship plants, honestly, I would be freaking doing giveaways all the time. But I don't have it in me. I have to be very selective about how much time I'm dedicating to plants nowadays. And that's just the tea. So yeah, I personally have made the choice to only allow a few of them to be sold, and I stand by that. But yeah, when I'm back from lunch, I don't really have much else to discuss after that, because I do want to save everything for that one video that I'm gonna do. But you know, we always figure out something to talk about. So I'm gonna get these potted, gonna go have lunch, and I will be right back. So this is Jocelyn's potting mix. It's a regenerative soil, and I can hear Archie coming. He's gonna try and come up the stairs. It's been nuked in the oven, so I'm basically gonna like feed it, and that's how you regenerate the soil, I think. You feed it with organic matter. So I have worm castings that I'm just gonna be adding to it. I'm gonna add a pretty generous amount. And then I'm just gonna add this to my little mix that I have here. I'm gonna have to keep popping in and out to make sure my child doesn't fall down the stairs. I need to baby-proof the stairs now. I feel like that's all I've been doing is finding hazards in the house. And it happened so fast. It really did. Like, we didn't think he was gonna crawl because he's been kind of like delayed that way. And then one day he was like, okay, I'm gonna crawl now. And then I suddenly had to like baby-proof everything in the apartment. Okay, he's coming up the stairs. What are you trying to do? Oh, you silly boy. Mommy's trying to work, Lovey. Oh, you pooped, didn't you? Okay, give me a second. Okay, I think I have about 15 minutes left of battery life before this baby dies, so I'm gonna try and just wrap this up. So these guys, I want to, well, these are my holdbacks. Okay, definitely want that one. Oh my gosh, look, it's so floppy and soft already just from being out of a pot. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, let's get these potted ASAP. So I was thinking of doing it in this size because I really want to see them size up, but I think that's just way too big. So I'm gonna opt for these in like its transition period, and then once this is super root bound, then I'll move it to that size. But anyway, picking up that conversation again, in like getting like this new career off the ground, I'm gonna be tapering back on YouTube a little bit. I am not gonna be posting probably on Wednesdays anymore. I know I just launched the Wednesday repot series, and I think sometimes I'll do that because it's a really good way to keep me in check, and it like kind of forces me to do plant tours that I'd otherwise sort of put off. So yeah, I'll pop in for a Wednesday repot every now and again. I'm gonna try to upload every Saturday, if not every other Saturday. But for the most part, I think I'm just, yeah, wanting to upload maybe twice a month once like I am actually like full on doing this other thing that I'm hoping to be doing. For now though, while there's no revenue generating from that, I'm gonna keep posting as much as I can on YouTube. there's definitely a lot to be done. I kind of want to stick these in a prop box because now they're super, super floppy. You know what? Once I water it, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. They're just being very dramatic right now. So yeah, that's kind of the big change that's happening over here. I am not gonna not be making content for people who are maybe worried that I'm gonna just get off YouTube forever. That's definitely not it. I enjoy doing it, I really do. And I would like to continue doing it for as long as you guys will watch my videos. It's just not gonna be my bread and butter anymore. Once things get going, I will definitely fill you guys in and kind of tell you what I'm doing and be more specific about this pivot. But for right now, while everything's kind of just an idea, I'd rather not sort of put it all out there just yet. It is very scary though, seriously. Like I've really tried to drop this idea that my life was gonna be this, and that by certain ages. I tried to ditch that mentality a long time ago, but it's hard, you know. I feel like especially in our culture here in North America, it's just so easy to kind of like compare yourself and you see what everyone's doing on socials and where everyone's at in life, and you maybe have a tendency to be like, oh, well, I'm not even close to that yet or whatever. But I know that things will happen in its own time, and I think it's still okay to like have goals and set those goals, but to not like base your life off of it. Because if you told me like in my teenage years or like early 20s that I was gonna be making like a full career change at 36, 35 technically, I would not have believed you, and I would have been like, what are you doing with your life, girl? But you know, people start over doing things in so many different ways of life, whether you're getting a divorce, you're going through a breakup, or whatever has you kind of starting over, you know. And I would like to think that I'm pretty resilient, and I'm pretty like resourceful, and I do trust my skills enough to be able to continue down a path where I'm like still self-employed, still doing something creative. But I think at this point it's just fine-tuning what that looks like, and ultimately having a more stable form of income, because I feel like that's really important right now. I have some great white water here. I will insert a clip of what it looks like post watering, because look at how floppy it is right now. That was not how floppy it was when I first got it out of the bin. Anyway, yeah, watering with some great white water. I was gonna put some drainage holes into here, but honestly, I kind of like the idea of retaining a little bit more moisture since these are not gonna be in a prop box anymore. I eventually would like to acclimatize all of them out of 100% humidity. The only issue is that the prop boxes are what is keeping them safe from pests right now. I may convert my EXO into just like a apartment for the seedlings that I'm gonna eventually be selling, so that I can kind of just like contain it, and then if I do need to spray it with Spino, it's like all in there and I can just easily spray. Yeah, I have no doubt that these guys are gonna perk up right away. It just needs a little bit of water. The substrate that it was in was quite wet, so just going through a little bit of shock. All right, so holdbacks are done and I am ready to get out of here. I'm gonna attempt to film one more video after this, but from the sounds that are coming from the living room, I don't think that is going to be possible. Thank you so much for being here. I know this Random Friday upload was random, but again, just wanted to give you a heads up about the seedlings, because I'm probably not going to be selling any more of these for a while, probably until the end of summer or beginning of fall, Jing is going on an international trip, so we really won't be doing any restocks until she's back. She's gonna be gone for quite a while. So yeah, if you wanted to grab one of these hybrids, there are quite a few left still. There is a video going up tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. It's the floriculture tour, and yeah, I have been really anxious to get that one out, but it's just taken a little bit of time to get edited. So I hope you enjoy that. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new here, hi and welcome. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow.